Hello, everybody. So this is the probably last one I'm trying to record on Facebook. I'll try to switch to the better camera and better audio, but I didn't have time today to experiment. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but no. Anyway, so welcome. The 14th episode. 3 weeks. Still going on. So those who are in quarantine, we're all still alive. So Friday, like I said, the free for all day. So let's hope I'll get something going there today. Feeling better. So, always nice to feel better. And it's colder outside, so maybe that's why. So this one might be short a little bit, but just Friday. Alright, so let's do a little bit of the finger work. Nice. So again, trying to show it. Extremely good exercise for your fingers. Fantastic one. The heavier the bit that you do it with, the better it is for you. The fingers, however, might hit you. Had a cut on the left hand, so there are some funky things going on with the fingers for a bit. And then you can do two, but anyway, so. Okay, yes. So, do some Friday exercises. Have been criticized, but I still like to do them. The chair, my friend chair. Still think there's a brilliant implement. I mean, yes, it's not balanced equipment, but hey, get me going in days when I can't afford anything. So. They're good and heavy, and they're extremely fantastic to build it up and keep your muscles. Yes, people walking around talking about me. Hold it in. Suffering. Well, not suffering necessarily. If you feel, like I said, there is a difference between this and that. If you feel a bit pressed, make sure that you walk in your lats as well when you're doing this. It actually helps, and it builds them up. So. Alright, that's enough of joy. Alright, so a little bit of stretches, use rotation, just to kind of unblock the muscles that just been working hard. And by the way, these things, it's the bamboo sticks. I got back with them from Amazon at some moment. When I was younger, I would kill for them. I used to practice with the actually about the same size sticks when I was a kid, well, younger adult. The fishing rods were made out of bamboo. My grandfather used to have them. Great part about the bamboo sticks is that they are light, cheap, hard to build, but hard to break. And they're fantastic. And you can make bowls out of them if you feel like it. Well, the problem is that the small ones are kind of light, so they don't give you the same feel as the big ones. So if you're trying to do the actual exercise with the full on pole, it's not the same feeling, but it is what it is. If you got the pole, you can add some thrusts in there, and swings and slides. But you may again notice, as I showed yesterday with the shovel, right? The general principles of all these strikes are very similar to what you do. The only things that you miss are the vertical ones, because, well, the longer the pole, right, the harder to do that without a good. So, but in the some of the schools of the Kung Fu, right, you will have those strikes when the big pole is, well, or the ball, whatever you like, call it, right, swirled around, and then there's the final strike that is still kind of overhead one. Just a good thing to just give yourself a different. And of course, as promised, today, finally, got myself a box. So, you know, we'll see what I can do. It's down. There will be some heating of things and releasing the anger of the week. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Strikes. And I know these are boring sometimes, but they're a good warm-up exercise, and they also help you to get in pace, and they actually, despite what you think, even if it's light, and if it's just, 25 of those, um, this week. Next week will be 30. They build up your muscles in a funny way, because 25 is nothing, right? But actually doing 75 of those, because you're doing the 3 forms. Let's do a little bit of knee work. Warm up the quad and stuff. Well, rotations. So technically, I like to use my shoe. And this is interesting, the steps with the side stepping. This is where it might make a difference if you're left-handed or right-handed. And when you're left-handed, you have some interesting time to adjust for the right-handed choreographies, because where people expect you to go one direction, right, you will naturally go to another one. And your hands, in some cases, will create different openings, and that's why it helps to know the flow of your sword, or the bokken, or whatever you use, to basically compensate for one way or another. Likewise, the right-handers will have issues with the left-handed choreography, but there is less of people with the left hand, theoretically. So, for example, right, you have your stance in here. So this is the right hand stance. I know the Facebook mirrors it, but so front right, front left, right. So your normal side stepping one would be like this. If you're left-hander, you're all of a sudden finding yourself standing like this with the left hand, left foot here, and you do this, and then you go extra step. So it's the different stepping. Likewise on the other side, right? And here, forward becomes awkward. With the right one, you do that, and it becomes easier. So just adjust, adapt. If you're having issues, generally speaking, these are more for the unless you do the one-handed work, your both hands, be it left-handed or right-handed, will create enough of the rotation, even if you're not very comfortable with using the right hand. Because you have two on the two-hander, you kind of can adapt, but I always say that you try both ways and figure out what's better for you. Because, yeah, sure, you can start from here, but you can also just, you can always start with the right hand like this, and then it just, I don't know if you can actually see the footwork here. Let's see. So the difference is you go side strike versus side strike versus side strike. Be like this, when it almost feels like you see it crossing the legs when you do it with the opposite direction and opposite helmet. So you have to adjust your feet a little bit, or well, either footwork or the hold or whatever. Because if you're doing just the presentation, for example, right, you can freely go like this because you know your partner will rarely go bonkers and kick it out. If you do real tournament, you probably will be less concerned with choreography and you'll be more concerned with results, and then you'll just kind of initially adjust to what to do. And then you're also less likely to have situations when it's, left hand, right foot, or some other stuff where it's actually important where you stand. It doesn't fight to win. They do have birds in here. So, just a thought, right? And let's be fair. So, let's see. Can you see it here? You're just stubbing yourself an eye. Look, stick. So, this is the easiest target you will ever get. Probably actually clear over here. I mean, you want to kind of, let's see. When you're practicing things like this, it's easier to just practice with something on your head level versus just, the potentially lower opponent. I mean, unless you're super tall, like Roy, I'm sorry, you're on your own. There's not a lot of people that will be over 6 and stuff, but I mean, it's about right. So like I say, the good anger release, anger management, right, for everybody is to every now and then just go nuts with these guys, because they are easy, they're obtainable, right, and you can practice, they don't strike back, and you can force yourself to kind of do the proper cuts and stabs and things, and even the regular plastic booking or the wooden booking will even have mark for you to figure out if it's straight or not. right? The only difference is that if you're trying to strike, this will not always leave the mark. Just kind of goes funny. That's all. But it's good rotational. One and for example, right, and this is normal cardboard. So think if it was your skin. So that's why you want to be able to control, well, not your skin, your opponent's skin. That's why you want to control the hits when you're doing the choreography, so you're not going completely nuts. I mean, they look realistic, right? But you want to be able to stop and not go all the way through, because, well, you know, this is not sharp by any means. The stabbing part is a little bit, but so for the, let's see, yes, it's almost, well, half of my finger as far as the edge. But it will not look nice on you or on anybody else. You can do that, right? And you can go nuts. It's just kind of weird. These guys don't feel pain, thankfully, so just feeling ashamed a little bit of bitten the box. But hey, you know, it is what it is. If you feel super confident about your abilities to cut, and I honestly haven't done it with this guy, so I don't know what the result will be. You can see if you can break like the thin bamboo poles. Just be careful with the shards, splinters flying around. Theoretically, you should be able to. Again, we can do the experiment, right? So, this is me doing the experiment. Let's see if we can do it. And this is a funny one because I would normally want to do it from the left, but I'm kind of forced to do it from the right because there's just not enough swingy face for me. So do that. And there we go. So again, that's why you want to control it. Well, not cut, because bamboo is not actually easily cut unless you have the very sharp blade, but it's enough to splinter it quite nicely. So think about this as the bones in the human body and be kind to each other. So what you want to do in general, if you're trying to be kind, come on, I'll put it in, right, and you just kind of go. And this gives you enough of a feel of where to stop. Let's see if you see it. Can you not see it? No, you can't. Well, a little bit, maybe. Pretty horrible in the video. Anyway, so you want to do controlled hits, something like that, because it gives you that satisfying click on the hit without actually killing it. And the bamboo ones are great. They're stringy and stuff. And, you know, I will have to replace this one at some point. I mean, for giggles, I can probably dig out one of the blades, actually bladed, I mean, edged weapons that we have. One of the katanas to just play around. This is very good. So, if you can find it, they typically will be in your garden shops or something. If you get a bunch of those, they're cheaper. If you get thicker ones, they are better to train with. They are not as easy to damage, of course, but you know, if you're not going nuts, they will last you for years. I think the one I used to train with as the kid, the one that I used as the bow, and was striking things with, it literally survived. The last time I used it was probably 20 years old, before my grandfather passed away. All this stuff got a little bit stolen from some house, but it survived from my childhood. I mean, we're talking, we started training with different things when I was a kid, so quite a bit. So yeah, get yourself a stick. Sticks are great. Dogs know that. The boxes, I mean, they're good fun to hit. They just make a lot of noises, much more than the sticks, and I generally just use them when I'm really annoyed. And then I actually take out the actual semi-sharp and the sharp swords out and just go bonkers. The best ones are actually from things like TVs, monitors, because they're big and heavy. These guys just flying around if you hit them, or they are cutting through way too easily. But the big ones from the hard cardboard are fantastic. Let's see. What can I show you with the? Oh yeah. There you go. So the two ends of the stick. So the good exercise is just to kind of do this, the drummer, so to speak, right? And you just kind of swing it, and it builds up the, again, I always trying to emphasize this, you always want to build up your wrists, especially in our day and age, when everybody working with the computers and getting all these funky postures that are not healthy, and getting curval stuff and things like that. I mean, I have hurting joints sometimes, but it's for different reasons entirely. But if you do this, if you strengthen your wrists, if you do it in the different directions at all times, and trying to kind of force yourself, even 15 minutes a day, it will help you to never have these issues, and it will keep your wrists much better exercised. If you want to go completely kind of martial artsy about it, or martial artsy without air quotes, you can do the Wing Chun pushes. So basically, the standard Wing Chun fist, right? And then you just kind of grab it like this, and do. You're trying to do as if you're looking in the mirror in your palm, and try to push your wrist this way as much as you could. And you will feel the tension building up here and a little bit here if your wrists are super stiff. So this, the next move is you kind of go this and do the same, monkey palms, right? And you're just trying to swing it out as far as you can, and just hold it a little bit. And your elbow is supposed to go still the bottom, right? So you've done that. You done that, you done that. Now you do, your palm opens up and does the kind of swing out, and you hold it a little bit as well, and you will feel the tension in here as well. And ideally it should go lower if you didn't have any damage and problems with your wrists, but you don't have to go completely nuts. As long as you're not just doing it this direction, you will feel it again. So, boom, 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 and then you gather and retrieve. So these movements will help you to straighten your joints and stuff. If you want to practice Wing Chun, it will actually give you the good start on this, right? So you just have your practice and, you know, good exercise in general, and it also builds up the blocks with the arms and stuff. Just remember the elbow's supposed to be awesome. So this is Friday again, so I'm just kind of doing a little bit of the program here, talking about not just the sword techniques, but just whatever. And let's see. So I showed this before as well. So the good length for the sticks, if you're trying to do the exercise like this, is roughly, let's see. So think about this, right? This is my elbow, and this is about, well, a little bit shorter than my elbow. So just a tad bit shorter than two elbows. This one is like 3 elbows. So if you grip it like this, right? And there's very simple movements. You just kind of let it swing out, swing in, swing out, swing in, swing out, swing in. You're using your fingers and the motion of the stick itself. If you're super equipped with the weaponry, you can grab the size and do that with the size, because that's where it kind of, or daggers, the long daggers, that's where it came from, but you don't have to. Sticks are actually good for this because you're less endangering anybody else around you. And when you're fixating in the end, they're fixating with the fingers. We're fixating in the front, they're fixating with the, well, fingers as well, it's just one, the thumb. Right, so, and you can do them with a step forward, step back, or just standing. It doesn't really matter. It looks super duper impressive, but it's actually very simple. And you can do them like this. Just be mindful. If this is too long, see the distance it has. So if it was too, if it was a little bit closer, I would just get myself in the face. So be mindful that this might be a problem for you. Or not. And you kind of go nuts with it. What it does, it builds up muscles between, well, on those fingers. Live long and prosper. And it's kind of the predecessors to do this, actually, because this is more finger, right? These are just a few positions of it. And this is generally the closing and the blocking. And this is the attacking position, stabbing, thrusting. Well, this one is thrusting, well, more of this direction. I'm not the great expert on the dagger techniques and the sword techniques. Oh, it's the, sorry, knife techniques. I used to know people who are great at it, probably better off finding them if you want to do the actual knife in the dagger techniques. But in my case, I just use this tidbits that I remember and used as the just kind of exercise staples. And again, you know, just something different, especially if you're staying there, for example, at work, right, and you just have absolutely nothing to do in the office, and you're bored out of your mind, and you don't want to watch your phone like everybody else does, right? You just kind of play around with the stuff that just lays around. Rotations, right? These rotations, just play and, well, right now everybody's not in office. Well, most of the people are not in office, let's be fair. Some people are still working day and night, and nurses and things, but I'm sure they don't have time for that, so anyway. That's about it for today. Again, I think this might be, well, I don't know if I will do the live ones anymore, because I want to try to record it better and in a slightly different, less vertical thing with the better sound. But we'll see what I can do. Thank you very much for watching. Maybe Friday. And for those who are locked in a quarantine, just, you know, stay healthy and safe and things, and thank you. Good smile, good laugh. Just remember there's a bunch of happy things around, and all this will pass, and everything will be good at some point. We'll get through it. So, see you next week. Cheers. Thank you for watching.